What's up, guys? I just wanted to show you guys how I make my fish food, like my daily fish food. So what I do is basically I just take basic fish food that I have, which is right here, which would be a mixture of New Life Spectrum. I have some granules from my friend Joel, his fish food pellets, and then I have bug bites, and it's just an assortment of fish foods in there. And then so what I do is actually combined it with other supplements. So what I do is I take this Vitachem right here. I'll give you guys a quick look if you guys want to buy it. So this is by Boyd's Enterprises, and it's Vitachem, and it's a complete vitamin supplement for your fresh or saltwater animals. So this is just to fill in the gaps that if the food is missing any other minerals and nutrients, I'll put it in the food so they don't lack that in their diet. This one right here is spirulina, and spirulina will actually have a green look to it, and it's plant-based. And what's interesting about spirulina is it has protein, so you could get your protein supplement from spirulina. So it's super good. It brings out the colors of the fish, it provides proteins, and it just boosts the immune system of the fish. And one cool fact, little factoid of spirulina is, when it's good and viable, it's green. And so in this cap, you can see it's green. And then when it turns quote unquote bad, it'll get a blue hue to it. And the blue hue is a antioxidant that is specific to spirulina. So, it turns like a little blue hue, but it's still, viable. It's still good, and it's still just not as good as it used to be. So let's just say, it had 100% protein. Let's just, for example, and then it turns like, a bluish color. Let's just say, I don't know the exact amount, but it's just not going to be at 100, but it's still beneficial. So I'll put that in with my fish food also. I'll mix it with this also. So I just want to shoot this video to show you what I do for my daily fish feeding per se. So what I'll do from the get-go is I'll get a little Tupperware. This is my feeding Tupperware right here, and I'll put a few drops of Vitachem in there. I don't really measure it. If I were to, I guess, measure it, I'd do 2 drops per tank, but then again, I just kind of eyeball everything. So I make it like a stock solution. So you want to take your Vitachem, you gotta shake it up because there's vitamins and minerals in here, and they settle on the bottom. So just flip it up. Sorry, doing this with one hand. So just pour it in there. Just, that seems like enough. And then another thing I use is Kent's Marine Garlic Xtreme. So this is a garlic extract, and the reason why I put garlic in there is just to entice the fish. Fish have use their sense of smell. If you ever look, they'll have nostrils, so they could smell stuff in the water column. And so this garlic extract is just to entice them to eat. Also, there's like, quote unquote, there's a saying that garlic boosts the immune system. There's no real research to support that, but people really follow it. Like, like it's one of those things that people really believe in. So I mean, it's just beneficial to me. I find that when I put this in there, the fish kind of go crazy. Like, oh shoot, it's like feeding time. So I'll just put a few drops. This I actually put only like 4 or 5 drops in because it's an extract. I don't want to put too much. 1, 2, 3, 4. There you go. So there you go, and I'll let that sit there, and then so I'll take this. This is my stock solution of New Life Spectrum. There's gonna be pellets from my friend Joel. There's gonna be bug bite granules. There's just a mixture of food. These are just what I usually mix is just granules and pellets and stuff like that. Stuff of the like. I don't mix fish flakes in there. I feel like fish flakes just break apart and they just soak up way too fast. So that's what I don't want to do. So I'll just take this spoon. Usually I just take a pinch. I usually don't use this spoon. I was just mixing some spirulina earlier today before the video. But so I guess I'll just show you this first. So let's just take 1 scoop of spirulina. I'll toss it in there. So now I know that might be a lot. So I wouldn't recommend that, to be honest. But basically earlier I was mixing some spirulina and I was putting it in here. So there's already spirulina in here. And then usually I just take a pinch depending how much I want to feed the fish. So I'll take a pinch of this. This is just going to be the small bug bite granules, the New Life Spectrum granules, and my friend Joel's fish food. And I also have another fish food here, which is New Life Spectrum. There A, and this one just has garlic and stuff like that in there. And then so I'll just take a pinch of this for the bigger fish. There you go. So you see it's just right there. If it's focused, and I'll just take a spoon. And what I'll do is I'll just mix it until, you know, it covers the surface area of all the beads and the spirulina and stuff like that. So I'll mix it up. You want to mix it up pretty well. Oh, sorry. Just doing this with one hand, so it's kind of challenging. And then so I mix it up, and what I'll do is I'll let it sit for about 15 minutes, and then when those 15 minutes pass by, which I'm trying to shoot this in one shot, when the 15 minutes passes by, it'll soak up all the Vitachem, and it'll soak up all the garlic extract. And then what I'll do is I'll kind of give it a vigorous shake, and by shaking it, it'll break up these granules right here to smaller little pellets. So just imagine, like, you know, this would be a lot smaller, but it would just be like it would just be a large pellet essentially. And then you would think it would break apart in the water, which it does if you put it right directly into the water. But excuse me, what I do then is I actually put this container into a freezer, and then so the freezer will act like a temporarily quote unquote gelatin or binding thing. So it'll freeze it and it'll bind the pellet together so it won't break apart immediately when you put it into the water column. And then I'll just feed it to my fish. So I'm not going to show that in this video just because I'm too lazy to edit, but I'm trying to do a one-shot thing to show you guys what I do with my fish food. So yeah, so what I'll do is, like I said, I'll soak this. And then once it gets soaked, I'll shake it vigorously to break it into small granule, little pellet size things like this. And then I'll put it in the freezer for 10 or 15 minutes. And the freezer will actually bind it temporarily because it's, you know, moist, and I'll freeze it. And then I'll throw it into the fish tank. And another reason why I kind of soak it in Vitachem and garlic extract is because, you know, granules in like this fish food right here, I'm not sure how much they expand, but they do expand when they uptake water. And then so when they uptake water, it goes into the digestive system, it expands in your fish. I think it's not beneficial. I'm not sure. This is just me kind of creatively thinking outside of the box, and how the process of, you know, when the fish ingests the food, what happens to it. But yeah, that's another reason why I soak it. But just to go over that one more time real quick. So what I do is I'll take Vitachem, which is a nutritional supplement that I give to my fish, and I'll put a few drops of this, and then I'll put some garlic extract from Kent's into a container, and then I'll mix whatever food you want. Mine is going to be a mixture of New Life Spectrum, some bug bite granules, spirulina, and my friend Joel's like a fish formula food that I got from him to try out. So I'll mix all that together, soak it in this container for about 15 minutes, and once it's soaked, I'll shake it vigorously to make small granules like this. And then I'll move it to a freezer for 10 or 15 minutes so it binds, and then I'll feed my fish. So this is how I feed my fish every day. I usually have really good success with it. My fish, I feel like, have great coloration, and they pop really well. I would show you my fish. Actually, I might show you my fish anyways. The lights just came on, so they're not as bright, and they're just kind of a little bit shocked because it's about 7 o'clock in the morning right now, and there's a glare, but I'll try to show you my fish to the best of my abilities. So these guys right here, they always greet me. So if I, you know, touch the front of the glass, sorry for the glare, you know, they're always coming up. So I got the Grami, I got the angelfish, and I got these angelfish from Tropicals for Less. Super great store. And the quality of fish are amazing. So I got these angels from them, and they've almost doubled in size. I've only had them for like about a month, and that's the staple I feed them. So yeah, these guys look good. I feed it to this tank. Sorry for the poop right there. They got excited, they kind of pulled it up, and my flow is right there, so it's just pushing it everywhere. This tank right here, this is going to be my rainbows and my Congo tetras. I almost call it decibarbs. There's a cervix right there, so it's just a mixture of fish. And so these guys all get the same fish food, and you know, they could tell it's about feeding time. I also have some small African cichlids right there. So those are electric yellow labs. Joel, my friend, was gracious enough to gift them to me, so I'm gonna grow them out. And then I don't know if in the back right there you see that little white thing, that's actually a freshwater sponge. Now it's in a breeder box. I'm probably gonna make a video later to show off what this sponge is, but like I said, just some fry. This is what I feed to them. And my last tank, which is a mess right now, this is just kind of a holding tank for my plants. This tank has swordtails, some Florida flagfish, and there's a banded Grami right there. But basically, All three of these tanks are fed off the same food source, a staple. I'll throw in some shrimp and some treats in there throughout the week too, but these guys get that food every day along with some flakes. So thanks for watching, and remember, this is how I make my DIY, I guess, fish food. Basically it's just a, you know, this is the highlight of why I do it actually. Just to, if there's any missing minerals, I drop it in there. The other mixing stuff is just me being silly, but hope you guys liked it. See you guys later. Bye.